This example, we're going to solve for height. So let's start by reading the question. A 30-kilogram child has climbed to the top of a jungle gym. The child then runs 2 meters per second across to the other side. What is the height of the jungle gym if the child has 942 joules of mechanical energy? Just like always, I am going to look through the question again and look to see what it's asking me to find. As I scan through the question, I can see right here it says, what is the height of the jungle gym? So I'm going to underline that in red to tell me that's my question. What is the height? Height is h, so my h must be unknown. So I'll put a question mark for that in my list. Now that I know what I'm looking for, I'm going to read through the problem again and identify what I was given. A 30-kilogram child. So kilograms, if I look at my list up here, kilograms is mass, or m. So 30 kilograms must be my m. Mass is equal to 30 kilograms. We'll then continue on. This child has climbed to the top of a jungle gym. The child then runs 2 meters per second across. They are running meters per second. In my list, meters per second is v. So my v, my velocity, is going to be 2 meters per second. To the other side. What is the height of the jungle gym? If the child has 942 joules, or J, of mechanical energy. So looking at this unit here, J, I can see the J up here in my list. That is ME. So in this case, my ME is given. It is 942. I already know my mechanical energy in this problem. Now that's the end of the problem. But if you look at our list, we can see that gravity is unknown. Most of the time, it's going to be safe to assume you are on Earth. And if you think about it, jungle gyms only exist on Earth as far as we are aware. This problem does not mention us being on another planet, so it is safe to assume we are on Earth. And if you are on Earth, your gravity is going to be 9.8. So in my list down here for gravity, I'm going to add 9.8 meters per second squared. All right, now that we've identified our information, we can plug it into our equation over here and hopefully solve for height. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rewrite this equation, plugging in what I know. Starting from the left, we've got ME. In this case, I know what ME is, so I'm going to put 942. After the ME is the equal sign, so I'll put equals. Then comes the 0.5. Then inside parentheses is the M. My M is, in this case, 30. After the M is the V. My V is 2. And don't forget to square that. After our V squared here, we have the plus. Then M again, which is 30. M is multiplying with gravity, and in our list, gravity is 9.8. And then H comes after the G. Now, we don't know what H is, but I am still going to bring it down. I'm going to bring down the H. I'm not going to leave it off. If you don't write the H, a lot of times you'll forget it's there and you'll make a mistake. All right, so we have correctly plugged the information into our equation here. Now let's start to solve. The first thing I'm going to do is multiply everything I can. So I can multiply all of this. I can also multiply these two. Let's start with these first numbers. Let me get my calculator. Let me clear it. All right, so I'm going to do 0.5 times 30 times 2 squared. 0.5 times 30 times 2, and then don't forget to square your 2. That gives me 60. So I'm going to write that underneath the numbers I just multiplied. 60. Now let's multiply the 30 and the 9.8. So I'm going to clear this. 30 times 9.8, and that gives me 294. So I'm going to write that underneath, 294. Now I need to rewrite the rest of my equation, whatever's left after multiplying, so I don't forget it's there. That means this H needs to come down. This plus sign needs to come down because I'm adding these two together. And then the 942 equals needs to come down. And I'll move that just to make it a little better. All right, so there's no more numbers we can multiply, And you might be thinking, let's add the 60 and the 294 together. But you cannot do that because the 294 has a variable attached. The 60 does not have a variable attached. So these cannot be added together. Instead, what we need to do is subtract the 60 from both sides. I'm going to cancel this out. So I'm going to subtract 60 over here, and I'm going to subtract 60 over here. So in my calculator, I'm going to do 942 minus 60. Let me clear this. 942 minus 60. And that gives me 882. So let's write that underneath. 882. I'm going to bring down the equals because that's still there. I'm not going to bring the 60 down because it's gone. We just canceled it out. But I am going to bring the 294 and the h down. All right, we are almost done with this problem. We just need to cancel out this 294. And I'm going to do that by dividing both sides by 294. These are trying to multiply, and the way you undo multiplication is with division. So I'm going to divide this by 294, and I'm going to divide this by 294. When I divide over here, that's going to cancel it out, but I will need to type this in my calculator because I can't do that in my head. So 882 divided by 294 gives me 3. 3 is equal to whatever's left over here, and the number is gone. All I have is the h. So my h is by itself. I have no math to do on this side. This must be my answer. Don't forget to put your unit. Let's look at our list up here. H is measured in meters, so my answer should be, that's right underneath, but 3 meters.